What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNYcrypto. This video is going to be an update on Cardano, the new smart contract testnet Alonzo, and their current rollout plan they just announced today. We're also going to be discussing the price of ADA, my predictions for end of year, and where I see the Cardano project headed, and why I believe it's going to be one of the highest return on investment cryptos out of the top 10 for end of 2021. So before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified when I make new crypto videos. Alright guys, so before we jump into this Cardano video, I feel like I do have to give a quick disclaimer. This video is not financial advice, it's for informational and educational purposes only. This is just my personal opinion and speculation on what I believe can happen by end of year. Nothing is guaranteed, especially in a volatile space like this. This is just based on my personal opinion. Always do your own research and make your own financial decisions. Alright guys, so I haven't done a Cardano video in quite a while. We do have the Alonzo rollout plan today, as well as a lot of other things to discuss with Cardano, the price of ADA, and where the project is headed with the launch of smart contracts, the Kucoin mainnet, and then the ERC20 token converter. A lot of major updates to come, and these updates really align with where we're supposed to have the peak of this current bull market. So if you guys have been watching my recent videos, I have been calling out that we're currently about midway through this current bull market, right about here, and these dips actually match up perfectly. The last two dips we have had, the current one that we just had and the one previously to that, matches up perfectly with the amount of days after the previous Bitcoin halvings. So the orange is the second Bitcoin halving and the green is the third Bitcoin halving, and we're currently just a little over a year after the third Bitcoin halving. And these market crashes happen to line up perfectly with all the FUD and market manipulation and everything going on. So very interesting that both these major crashes line up perfectly. So a quote I really like is, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme." So I do believe we're going to be seeing a peak still during this bull market, but I don't believe it's going to line up perfectly with this previous one. I do expect a market correction though around this time, and I do think the peak of this current bull market will be somewhere further out in 2022. And that's just because of all the inflation, mass adoption in general, and institutions getting into cryptocurrency. Crypto is really getting put on the map this time, and the crypto global market cap is in the trillions this time, while the last bull run it was in the billions. So these Cardano updates do align with right around where this peak is at. So that could be coincidence, it could be planned, but I definitely think it's going to greatly help the price of ADA really be moving up, especially depending on how Cardano is performing, how many projects launch on the Cardano blockchain, how many projects convert from Ethereum to Cardano using the ERC20 token converter. All of these things can factor in what price ADA actually hits. I do believe $10 is very possible though around end of year here, October, November. So the stock to flow model kind of confirms this as well. Comparing this to the previous bull run, we do have quite a ways to go before we're actually peaking out, and I do believe that will be around $100,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin if things do play out similarly to the last bull market. A lot of people are calling we're in the bear market now. I don't believe this at all. There of course is a small percent chance, especially if the United States came out and tried banning Bitcoin or something crazy like this, which is not going to happen. So if we do peak out here, it's going to be around October, November, possibly even in 2022, because like I said, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. So we should be seeing a price for Bitcoin around $100,000 to even up to $300,000 if it does play out similarly to the last bull market here. So what I'm really looking for is projects like Cardano that have major updates, that are undervalued, that are going to have major partnerships, and really have the spotlight during this time when Bitcoin will also be peaking out in this bull market. So imagine what price ADA is going to be at if Bitcoin's at $200,000 to $300,000. It's just crazy to think of the potential there. That's why I think a $10 ADA is very possible and actually very likely by end of year, especially with these major updates. I've watched this the past couple years. Projects with major mainnets that really have the spotlight, they really surge leading up to the mainnet. They have a small correction, but they do have higher lows, and then depending on how the project performs and how useful the product actually is, they begin climbing again, and then the price will eventually match the fundamentals. All right guys, so we did have the Alonzo rollout plan announced earlier today. This is massive. I do believe demand for ADA will be rising towards the actual launch of this, but it is quite a bit of ways away at the end of summer. So phase purple they said was very important, and then Alonzo Mainnet in September, which this actually lines up perfectly with where the current peak of the bull market should be if it does line up with the previous one like we just discussed. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be similar. Also, I do want to give a quick disclaimer. In the short term, anything can really happen. We have to keep in mind major regulations, new tax laws. There's so many different things that can happen that can cause the crypto space to go in temporary panic. But I do believe when you zoom out, we will be on a steady rise towards the end of 2021, where we should get peak retail FOMO and then see another major peak in the crypto space, and then of course have another major correction. So we do have to expect this. The crypto space is extremely volatile, but with volatility actually comes extreme opportunity as well. So I will be accumulating ADA throughout this. I do believe after the actual mainnet is really when we're gonna get the supply shock to ADA. All the projects launching on the Cardano blockchain will need to buy ADA for liquidity on the swap websites, just like PancakeSwap and Uniswap providing Ethereum and BNB tokens for liquidity. This does cause a supply shock, which does require projects to acquire as much ADA as possible for liquidity. And then there's just a major supply shortage while there's major demand, like we saw with Binance BNB coin, the price going from around $50 all the way up over $600 in a pretty short period of time, doing over a 10x for a top 10 cryptocurrency in a short period of time. That's what that supply shock really caused. So this is great to see Cardano moving forward. I do believe demand for ADA will be picking up towards the end of year, and then really depending how many projects actually launch on the Cardano blockchain, how many convert from other blockchains, how many partnerships they get, where the crypto space is actually out in general is going to be a major factor as well. All of these things will determine where the price of ADA actually lands. Right now, we are seeing some volatility in the crypto space, but ADA is still holding up pretty strong around $1.70. We did see it peak out around $2.50 when the crypto space was doing good, Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. So what's good for Bitcoin is going to be good for ADA as well. With these major upgrades coming, it is going to bring a lot of attention from retail investors in general. Just a lot of demand picks up for projects leading up to mainnets. That's just how people buy cryptocurrencies. They buy the testnet and sell the mainnet. But I do believe this is going to be a mainnet that people are really going to regret selling. So Charles Hoskinson did do a live video on this, 22 minutes. I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching this later tonight. I will link this in the video description. I'm sure he goes over the whole Alonzo rollout plan and what's really to come. Also, we have this chart here that has been growing. This is basically the Cardano ecosystem, all the projects that are going to be launching on the Cardano blockchain, growing pretty rapidly here already. We have multiple swap websites that are preparing, the Sunday Swap, Polyswap, and a few others. We already have oracles that are going to be launching on the Cardano blockchain, NFT projects. So this is definitely a great sign. This is going to be growing massively leading up to the actual launch. Imagine a month or two ahead of the actual launch. This is going to be doubled or even tripled, and I do believe a lot of projects after the actual launch and they see the product working will be converting using the ERC20 token converter, and I do believe it's just going to be a flood of demand all at once. So Charles Hoskinson has explained how Cardano could get to $1 trillion market cap. He even made this statement back in April of 2020, which was in the bear market, so this shows extreme confidence. So for ADA to actually get to $1 trillion market cap or more would put ADA well over $10. For ADA to actually hit $10 would not be as high of a market cap as you would think. So all you would have to do is multiply $10 by the circulating supply, which is currently around 32 billion ADA, which would put it at $320 billion market cap. We're currently around 54 billion. So if history does somewhat repeat itself and we do see the peak of this current bull market somewhere around October, November here, I do believe with those Cardano updates coming shortly before, all the partnerships and projects launching on the Cardano blockchain, a $10 ADA is very possible. That would only be a little over a 5x from here, putting it around 320 to 350 billion dollar market cap. So another thing we have to consider is the decentralization of Cardano and how much ADA is being staked. It does have the highest staked value in the entire crypto space. $37.5 billion worth of ADA is being staked right now, earning passive income. So that's 73.4% of the total supply is being staked and not in circulation, which does help the price rise since there's less supply in the markets while demand is rising. Towards the end of year, I only see the price of this going higher and people accumulating more ADA to put in staking. So I think it's very likely that ADA gets listed on PayPal as well by end of 2021. I do think it's one of the top options, and I definitely think PayPal will be doing that by end of 2021 just to have more cryptocurrencies on the platform. So they haven't added any new cryptos yet since the 4 they launched with, but like I said, they're going to take baby steps here. They just announced they're going to let users actually send their Bitcoin off PayPal, which is a huge step forward. A lot of people were very upset about this, and like I said, they are going to have to take baby steps to make sure they're doing everything right. They're just not going to come out of the gates offering 50 cryptocurrencies and let you do whatever you want with it. They do have to make sure they do things right the first time because they are the biggest online payment processor, and they do have massive investors and other things to consider here. So it's very likely they will list ADA, with it being the most decentralized project, having massive upgrades coming. I do believe that's very likely and will have a massive pump weekend, similarly to what we see with Coinbase. When they do list new cryptos, they do have huge pumps around this time, and it does increase accessibility. I do think this will be have an even bigger effect with cryptos that are listed on PayPal. So I really like how Charles Hoskinson has been addressing many of these issues in the cryptocurrency space lately. I think it's bringing a lot of attention to Cardano. He's definitely a very educated person and definitely has great things to say about all these different problems and how to improve the crypto space as a whole. So he did make a video speaking to Jack, the creator of Twitter, about proof of work versus proof of stake, which Cardano is proof of stake, where you stake coins instead of doing mining, similarly to Bitcoin and currently Ethereum. Ethereum is switching over to proof of stake though as well with Ethereum 2. He also did a video to Mark Cuban here on Cardano, and he also did a video to Elon Musk about how to fix Dogecoin. So while some of you may think videos like this are not important, I do think it brings a lot of awareness to the project, which does help the project get more holders and grow over time as a whole. It also brings awareness to how educated the people are working on the project. So lots of great things happening here, lots of awareness coming to Cardano for the first time, breaking $2 all-time highs, getting close to $2.50. Just crazy how fast this has been growing. So around this time last year was actually when Cardano announced and released the Shelley Mainnet roadmap, which really is when the price of ADA started picking up, going from around 5.5 cents to about 15 cents for the launch of the Mainnet, which was over the span of a couple months. They were right on time with that, so I definitely think they're going to be hitting their goals with their current Alonzo roadmap as well. So huge things to come. I do think demand will be rising for ADA as we get closer to the actual mainnet for Alonzo and smart contracts, and then everything really kicking off end of year for Cardano. So I'm definitely taking this as time to accumulate and just dollar cost average, along with many other projects. Of course, I stay very diversified, and keep in mind this is not financial advice. Every cryptocurrency is high risk, as we saw the major market crash just based on a little bit of FUD and bad news. Anything can happen in the crypto space, but really what I'm looking for is projects like Cardano with major updates coming that do align with previous history, showing strong support that the bull market is not over. So out of the top 10, definitely my top pick for end of 2021. I do have a lot of other small cap picks that I think will do better, but of course they're much higher risk as well. So that's it for today's Cardano video. I hope you guys found it useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for my daily crypto news and market updates. And I do appreciate if you guys liked the video, comment below, and share the video anywhere on social media or anyone you think should know about Cardano and what's to come end of year. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.